Oh.
Oh, swimming arms.
Are you undoing your shirt? Are you undressing? Are we?
Well,
This is
the a la mode episode.
This is where we record in batches, and each batch we take something off.
Should have started with my hat.
So stupid.
Oh, so dumb. Amateur hour
Just
over
kicked
here.
my shoes off, but I guess whatever. You go. You jump right in the deep end.
And I thought wearing a jock strap would be a good idea. My, oh my.
Oh.
How the funny aren't funny.
Welcome to the Center and Saint podcast with Ben and Patrick. We are going to fire things up with our good buddy Eddie.
Well, you want to get going now?
Oh, right now.
When you hear the tone, it will be exactly
What time?
time to get a drink.
Oh, okay. Is that like 5 o'clock or 3?
Just a little drink.
7?
No, it's about 1:30.
Can we do it whenever?
1:30 in the
A
afternoon.
little drink.
Okay. What about a big drink?
Well,
Big gulping, big alcohol.
goes down easy.
Before the evening.
Yeah, no, big drinks, little drinks are fine. Yeah, whatever you're feeling like.
This is
Sláinte.
gin.
This is a gin drink.
I spent some time with my parents recently. They came out, visited. My dad's not much of a drinker in general at all. Never has been.
Hates water. Fish do bad
Water
things
it.
in it.
But he likes gin and rum. I'm like, oh,
Not together.
I don't know. He didn't specify. I'm like, oh, I can't do gin. It's not my thing. Not my jam.
Masochist. I mix my gin with
Cilantro.
my rum. Cilantro.
I was gonna try not doing that.
That's not good, huh?
It's just gets me. I like it.
He lies. This is cucumber. This is very light.
Yes.
This is very light and cucumbery. I don't think I'm a fan of it either. It's called a Golden Fizz.
Gold Fizz.
It's got what you got there?
Cheat sheet there.
It's got gin, simple syrup, lemon juice, and a beaten egg white, which is pretty much evaporated considering I did it 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
And something else. I'm missing something else. Go to the show notes.
The other
It's in
thing.
there.
The
It's
other
in there.
thing. Go read it.
Yeah,
Sparkling
go read
water.
it. Sparkling water. Yeah.
Sparkling.
Topped off with sparkling water.
Sparkling water.
I used the most affordable sparkling water Kroger had to offer.
Well, there you go.
But I do that with highballs.
What is-
when I make a highball? I like that sparkling water.
Do you say so?
Yeah, you want? Huh?
As opposed to low balls.
So it's only highball. Yeah.
No. What is egg white? Is it foamy? What's it? What's the?
Normally, an egg white will foam the top.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah, well, when beaten, So we've talked about this before. You gotta be careful how you beat your egg whites.
That's right.
Welcome in, episode 56,
Cinco de Sexe.
and that's where we will go for this episode. Cinco de Sexe.
That's right.
That's 5 sexies.
Yeah,
Six
sexy
times
lady.
I think that's a crowd.
That's
a real crowd.
That's what 24 weeks of Duolingo has taught me in Spanish. So
Have you been using Duolingo?
I have been doing it. It's a good mind exercise. I learned. I took 2 years of French in high school, and then wow, oui, oui. My favorite phrase was "Je vais à la piscine," which means I'm going to the pool, but it sounds like I'm just going to go take a piss. Which is how I remembered the pool, because I'm like, you piss in the pool. So it was piscine the pool.
Is piscine
yes,
the pool.
That was how I remembered that.
That's funny.
That was my mnemonic device. And then in college, I had to have a foreign language credit. So I took Spanish because I was afraid that French 3 was going to be tough.
Yeah.
And so I had 1 year of that, and I always mixed up my French and my Spanish because there's a lot of similarities. And then my daughter was home this summer. This is a story that nobody cares about, but I'm going to go ahead and finish it because here we are. I can see the ends. Yes. Jada was home this summer, and when she was doing Duolingo, and she's like, you should do it with me. And I was like, eh. And then I was like, eh.
My eyes are up here, Patrick.
What
Stop
am I looking
at
at?
my shirt.
Can't not.
Button in my shirt.
Diddly bibblies.
If you like breasts with hair on them, tune into this episode.
I had a wandering eye. So yeah, I've been doing French and Spanish.
You've been doing both on Duolingo.
I have. I do a whole lesson in one and then switch to the other.
Okay.
I'm way better at Spanish, which surprised me.
Yeah. What's manzana?
Tomorrow.
No.
spaghetti and meatballs.
Manzana is apple.
Manana.
I was told there would be no quizzes today. Manana.
Yeah, see,
Manzana.
I just lost a heart.
That's okay.
That's okay. That's,
Yeah. I had a lot of trouble when using Duolingo for Spanish to get the L and la and at the beginning or at the end or like that gave me a lot of problem. And guys, I'm gonna pull back the curtain here a little bit. I'm not good at that with English. I've been running that course for 4+ decades on trying to speak in this language.
Yeah, I don't do it well.
Yeah.
I'm a mumbler.
I know that people have said, so tuck this away for grandkids someday. They say raising your children bi or trilingual is because like kids are just a sponge; they learn everything.
Right.
And so like teaching them multiple languages at once
is easy because they're just like,
they're
yep,
just,
all right,
this is okay.
I do it. Yeah.
Mañana.
I learned hillbilly.
You learned banjo.
Banjo, that's true.
You learned banjo.
I
learned racism.
Well, that's there too. So yeah, it's Duolingo. I kind of like it. It's fun. Like if I'm gonna waste some time, that's not a bad way to waste some time.
Absolutely.
I did also fire up Scotland. I thought let's go learn Scott.
Like you're trying to learn Highland Gaelic?
Yeah.
Wow. Nobody speaks that.
Well, not Highland Gaelic, but just I don't know. It said Scotland, so I was like, I've got a trip coming up there, and
oh, that's right, you do.
And I mean, it's pretty. There's some English there's some English crossover.
Yeah.
But there's also some not crossover. So I figured I'll just watch. What's that show? There's a show that's out, the Highlander.
Oh yeah.
I figured I'll just watch it.
Watch Highlander. There can be only one.
Yeah.
I will say, if you've not seen it, this is a lot of fun just to watch. But Brian Cox, he's a famous actor. You would know him if you saw him. He's been in the Bourne series, and he's been in.
Oh, is that the older guy?
Yeah, he's an old man.
Yeah, he's always the agent. He's always the older spy agent.
He's he also looks a lot like Albert Finney, so they're easily interchangeable. But everyone knows Brian Cox for one thing. Like that's his voice at the end of the McDonald's. He's the voice on the McDonald's commercials.
I did not know that.
But he's Scottish, so there is a YouTube clip where he is sitting in like a leather back chair with a glass of scotch, and he pronounces every scotch correctly. And so, because you look at scotches and sometimes like
you say it one way, but it's not really the way it should be.
Like Bruichladdich. Bruichladdich does not look. It looks like Bruichladdich or something like. And like, so you go and you be like, I want a Bruichladdich. But if you're gonna go to Scotland, you can just be like, I'll take a Bruichladdich. Oh, this guy knows what he's doing.
This guy knows what's up.
Yeah, but it's a lot a fun too because it's just like Glenfiddich.
Wow, look at you, man!
So funny.
We're on a trip today.
Yeah,
keep going.
It always makes me laugh.
Come on,
Glenmorangie. Because like a lot of people say it's Glenmorangie.
Right.
It's Glenmorangie.
No.
So it's a fun video. Go check it out.
I gotta learn that then.
Not a sponsor.
I'm gonna go to Scotland. I gotta.
If you're gonna have scotch, yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. Lagavulin.
And I gotta get my kilt.
Are you gonna get a kilt?
I thought about it.
You should.
Yeah.
You can pull it off.
No.
You can pull it off for a couple reasons. One,
I'm hoping Cammie does.
She will.
Hell.
Trust me. Well, she doesn't have to pull it off. She just has to pull it up.
That's true.
So,
that's true. Let's get that out of the way.
I think you could pull it off for sure. The bald head and everything, and also you're big enough. Nobody's gonna make fun of you for it. They're just gonna be like, "There's Kilt dude. There goes Kilt dude."
But I also thought I'd get bagpipes to carry with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd just do both. If I'm gonna do one, might as well do both. And
have you ever seen the Gordon Pipers?
No.
Around town?
No.
Bagpipes are really cool.
They are.
Until
they're not.
You're in a small bar. So on St. Patrick's Day every year, the Gordon Pipers, a local Indianapolis bagpipe group with like bass drums and snare drums and stuff, they basically do a bar crawl all over Indy.
Really?
But they hit Sobro. So our good friend Deb and I were at the Red Key at 52nd and College one night having a drink on St. Patty's Day. And the Gordon Pipers walked in around 10:30 that night. And I guess what they do is they play until the leader, who doesn't play an instrument, he just walks them around, finishes a Guinness.
Yeah.
And then they go to the next place.
Okay.
And like I said, it's real cool until you're at a table in the middle. And so there are pipers and drummers all around you. And they did not reduce the volume based on... Wow. And those situations can get me on edge pretty quick. Like, I've got something that's probably medically diagnosable that is like... When my wife runs the blender... It annoys me.
Loud sounds,
bad.
yeah.
Next door neighbors run a chainsaw the other day. I'm coming unglued. Like, I'm just really, like, it just ratchets up my anxiety. Those are way better than bagpipers in a bar.
In a closed space.
In a closed space. And our friend, she was so funny because she was highly entertained by it. She's like, he's about
your
about
agitation
done.
is
He's about over this. Like, and so my misery was her enjoyment that day, and that's what it is.
So a little Scottish there, a little Spanish. What else? What else you got in your language bag of tricks?
So we've talked about before on this podcast, and we're not going to go to it today again. So just go back and listen to the others. But I've traveled a whole lot, and so I've always been pleasantly surprised by. Just the little words that you learn, and so just to kind of get you there. But like also different ways to communicate. Like when I've spent time I didn't want to spend in China, and a lot of, especially rural China, doesn't speak English at all.
Right.
It is
nothing.
Yeah.
Full on Mandarin.
But you might need to know where the bathroom is, so you just do that. Because this. And I'm holding up my finger.
Almost like an OK, but the OK's open.
Yeah, it's an OK, but the OK's open because if you look at it, it's a WC, which is water closet. And so if you just show them water closet, they will just point you to where you need to go.
Which is a hole in the ground.
Yeah, and I stopped with that most of the time I was there. So everything's
a WC.
When you're running for your life, underwear is optional. So yeah, I've learned little things like that. But one of my favorite things was always, Paraguay did this a lot. I've heard Italy does it, but I've not been there in a long, long time. Cuba does it, Cuba as they say down there. Places where tourism, like attacking tourists, is a crime, like a 15 to 20 year prison sentence crime. Those places need tourism. So what a lot of families will do is they'll put a little sign out that says cucino, so kitchen, and then you just go have dinner with a family and you just pay them. So you're sitting at someone's table with them.
I'm surprised you do that. As much as you, I guess there's a language barrier. You're like, I don't have to talk because you don't understand a word I'm saying.
Well,
but I'll eat your food, peoples.
I also don't have to order because here's dinner. Here's what you're having for dinner because it's what we're having for dinner. We just made extra so you can pay us for it.
It's roja and frijoles.
Mm-hmm.
And pollo.
Dude, I'm good with rice and beans and chicken.
That's it.
But yeah, no, actually Paraguay, they have like this chicken stew is their national dish. And so a lot of people were, like you kind of just get chicken stew a lot of places with different spices and stuff. But yeah, I don't speak any other language fluently, but I've always found that when you go to a country, within those first couple days, you pick up enough. If they don't speak English, you pick up enough from just hearing and the conversation of like, you understand how to order your coffee and what size you want your coffee to be and all that. And so, yeah.
Fun stuff. But language.
I've used Duolingo and I enjoy it.
Yeah. So. All right.
Well, show over.
That's all we got to
go
say.
Go download the app.
All the languages we got.
Not a sponsor, Duolingo.
Yeah, go play.
We've run out of things to talk about.
When you were talking, I thought of a story as you were telling your story about traveling, and you were giving us the water closet. Mm-hmm. And I learned in Jamaica that you don't do this. Like that's I think that if I'm not mistaken, and if you're Jamaican and watching, you can please confirm this or deny this. But I was told that is essentially the middle finger. And they told me that the Jamaicans told me that because another guy who was there who was preaching in church that was kind of his nervous tick when he. That's how. Yeah. Can you just imagine like an American church being like, yours. I want to talk about Jesus, and you just fly in the bird and be like, I am not listening to a word this guy says because all he's doing is.
Wow. It is funny those. Let me ask you this, kind of off topic but related, as far as the offensive part. What's your take on the new Jesus campaign? Oh,
the commercials and stuff of like...
Yeah, he's one of us or something.
I don't understand it. It's heavy-handed. I don't get it. Like, we kind of were laughing. I'm bad for the brand.
Yeah,
so, like,
it's you know that for the brand. As someone who co-brands with you, it's an uphill slog. We were talking about that the other night because those commercials, when they first came out, I was like, these are pretty creative.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, are they literally just selling Jesus? Like, are they just selling religion? And then it was, I don't remember what it was. And I apologize. This might be a little, please don't take this personally, anyone.
Don't be offended.
Don't be offended. We were just, my wife and I were kind of mocking this because we were equating it to, they're like, Jesus was impoverished. Jesus was, all these things. And like, he had a single mother or whatever. And we're like, but hold on. His dad was God. I mean, it's like we're selling Bezos' kid here. Like, it's like Jeff Bezos' child relates to you.
Yeah.
But it's like, we're like, his dad is the most powerful thing of all time. Like, okay, we get it. But so we had a laugh about it. Half of you are offended right now, just going like, you should not say that about Jesus.
I think if anybody here is listening to more than one of these, they're just here to be offended.
Yeah, they probably are. Looking at you, Amy.
I need a healthy dose of being offended.
She dropped off. I saw our metrics. We lost female. We lost female listenership.
Yeah, I think that was part of I think that's part of my, and I get it. Like that's what they're trying to fix the brand of Christianity, which is, I think, has its own issues to approach it that way.
Yeah.
But then to have a commercial that talks about how he's impoverished, and then you look at what they're spending on these ads, and you're like,
yeah.
I think we're crossing the line a little bit here.
Yeah.
So
no doubt about that. And it's also interesting to me because I judged. So how about this could be my center moment?
Yeah.
I judged hard last Sunday. There's these.
Did you stand outside of a church and just?
The guys with the bullhorns.
You turned it against them, huh? You're like, I'll show you.
I flipped that script and I was like, you believe in lies. Smoking mirrors. No, I did. A quick sidebar here. When the Super Bowl was in Indianapolis in 2012, I did make a sign that said, I don't believe in anything, I'm only here for the violence. And that was popular, except for with the people the overly zealous with the megaphones. They did not like that. And they tried to take the sign from me. And I told them, no, you may not. So 32-year-old Ben was a little more rambunctious than grumpy-year-old Ben, if you listen to last week's episode. What were we talking about? Offending standing? Last Sunday. I was judging because there's one of these. I kind of like that Noble Romans has rebranded themselves as like a craft house. And I'm good with it. Yeah. So I try and frequent the one by me sometimes, just so it doesn't close.
Sure.
Because they have pretty good deals. Mm-hmm. And I'm a cheap Midwestern bastard.
Yeah, good job. Good job. I like a good deal.
So my center moment was I went in there to watch the Bears game. And so it was 1 o'clock. I'm watching the Bears game, and they have.
Is that in general? Like you watch a Bears game, that becomes a center moment? I didn't know that's how that worked. Like,
don't get me started.
I'm watching a Bears. It's also. I mean, I'm a Cardinals fan, so it certainly is that for a Cubs. Like that is a center's moment. But I didn't know Bears also carried that same level of.
Guys, you're about to get a peek into my soul, and it is. Not so good. Not so good. It's You ever heard of a cat of nine tails?
Yeah.
Anyways, so the Bears game's on the middle TV, and on the left TV is a local, I'm not going to put them on blast, but it's a local syndicated church service.
Uh-huh.
And all I kept thinking is, first of all, that suit should not be worn by a white man. It was a nice suit, don't get me wrong. But my other thought is, that suit costs probably half of some of your people's salaries.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know, man, these TV evangelists, I got a lot of opinions about those guys.
Yeah, so this is, I won't say much, I'll say just a little bit, and then I'm going to step on the soapbox for a minute.
And then we can go back to the Bears.
Then we can go back to whatever, anything else. Here's my issue with the Jesus commercials, with broadcast shows, all of that is, it makes it a product, and removes any semblance of one, the incarnation, which I think is a key theology or key belief point of Christ in the world, but also removes, I think, what is the mission of the church, which is a relational component. So it completely bastardizes those things.
Again, his dad was God.
Yeah,
super powerful.
Yeah, well, so those are what, that's where it becomes a disconnect for me, and I'm like, well, you're doing a different thing, and that's cool, but I'm not doing that. So,
well, and also just next Thursday we're having Loaves and Fishes night down here at Sinner and Sin Podcast.
We're going to be stoning the rebel teenagers.
Yep, come on by. We plan to watch the fornication of a woman and a donkey. And that was something, wasn't it?
Wow, there was not a fornication. There was a woman, but not with a donkey.
Oh, she wants her new husband to be...
Jesus rode a donkey, but only in the traditional sense.
I cannot wait till we get to...
You gotta be careful mixing your metaphors. So
can't wait till we get to who we offended today.
2,000 years of Catholicism. You're welcome.
Try not to listen to the secular one of us when it comes to biblical knowledge.
Well, it's kind of like
slippery slope.
It's like my professor, I had a religion professor in college who was, we were getting into the Bible, and he says, in the Old Testament, oftentimes when they're talking about feet, they're not talking about feet. It's part of the biblical metaphor. It was part of their way of saying one thing while saying something else, and so they typically were talking about testicles or the gonads, and
they were calling feet.
Yeah, so like take the story. Well, so take the story of Ruth, who is
Esther's sister,
Esther's daughter-in-law.
Oh, is it?
So it's her daughter-in-law that she not Esther, Naomi.
Yeah, I wasn't close.
Yeah.
Because I made my part up, but
Esther brings. Well, Ruth wants to come back with Naomi back to the land of Jerusalem, and there is Boaz, who is he's a generational redeemer.
Okay.
And so he's redeeming the cousins and aunts and uncles, and he's wealthy, and he lets all of the families who have less resources glean the corners of the field. So they get all the, it was a Jewish custom that you left the outside of the field so that the poorer folks could come in and still get something. They had to come out and do the work, but they could get something.
Okay.
Well, Naomi says to Ruth, who's not...
There was a Naomi in the Bible?
There was, yes.
Cool.
Yeah. Backwards, that's Imon. But forward, it's just Naomi. So,
no, I've done some independent research on some... yeah, go ahead. Sorry. Yeah, we're getting off track.
So Naomi says to Ruth, Ruth is like, oh, this Boaz guy, he's kind of a nice guy, and he's kind of got some money. And Naomi, not being a dummy, says, well, you should go visit Boaz tonight when he's sleeping. Your biblical story in the English translation says, you should lie at his feet. And in the morning he wakes up and says, "Oh, Ruth, you're here, and I think I like you." Because she's lying at his feet.
I had the weirdest dream.
Yes. But if you understand the metaphor, then you're like, oh, that makes a whole lot more sense.
Lie at his
feet. The problem is you have to keep that in the Old Testament. because you do not want to take it into the New Testament where Jesus is washing his disciples' feet. You get a really different picture of what the Last Supper was like.
Peter! Oh, Peter! What are you doing here?
I just got to do it.
Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. That's how oh my God became a thing. The disciples started it. Hey, you forsaken me. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And that, boys and girls,
that is your non-Sunday school lesson today, kids.
That's how Turkish bathhouses.
And I feel like that was my center moment for sure. You're all welcome. Sorry, not sorry.
Boy, it's
you got to keep that in the Old Testament.
Always,
you got to keep the metaphors in the right lane. Otherwise, your metaphors get real messy.
Always a pleasure recording. Just learning the new things about the
way the world works, you know.
The way it used to work, at least. We've crafted some new lingo for those things. Duolingo, you say? Learning a new language.
I'll give here's my attempt to atone for my center moments.
I think everything that just happened can be summed up as both of our center moments.
The same moment that we're doing.
After just hit a home run.
The same moment is we have the church that I'm a part of, Faith Community. We're starting a new discipline as a community, which has been is a little bit of a challenge. So on the fourth Sundays, which you've been a part of the last two.
Is that what today was?
Yes.
Oh, was that what last month was? Today?
Yeah. Yes.
That's weird, man.
Well,
keep going. I can step alongside it.
Yeah. I feel like you're building up for another center moment here. The new discipline that we're practicing as a community is to have an organic time of celebration or worship. And so it's a time where there's not a formal liturgy, where it's not expected or the burden is not put upon any one or a group of individuals to lead the time. And so it's an open time that's unorganized where anybody can share the stories of faith that they've experienced as they've gone through their week. And so it's, there's silences and there's some awkwardness, but there's been some really nice storytelling. And we have a friend who comes and brings his guitar and brings a couple songs and has those ready to kind of sprinkle in as he feels is the right opportunity. Yeah. But it's been a bit of a, that's a unnerving, as a pastor, you're to lead and guide and direct. And so to kind of be like, okay, I'm going to not, I'm going to trust everyone and trust the situation and trust the Spirit, as I believe and would say, is a very vulnerable place.
Sure.
But it's been pretty. They've been beautiful moments, and to come in a space where you don't feel like you're trying to best the next thing. Oh, we got to do bigger and better. Nope, just let it be what it is. Like whatever. Yeah. Let people come as they are without prescriptions.
So now you say that, but I got some real judgy looks when I came in today.
Well, you
come as you are.
Yeah.
So they say. For those of you listening and not watching, I'm wearing a flat-billed black cap with a skull on it, and an Indian skull at that with a headdress, and a flannel. And I think I still have my sunglasses on when I walked.
Probably, yeah.
And now I was carrying.
Well, it didn't help when you kicked the door open. I mean,
so that was the funny thing. So today, I'm walking up and somebody opens the door. So I stop, assuming someone's coming out, and no one comes out.
Yeah.
And then Jeff, good dude, talked about him before, pops his head out. He's like, "Hey, we've been waiting on you." And in my head, I'm like, "Well, that can't be right." I'm like, that's a lie. Because you all were clearly doing something before I arrived, and you're not part of what I'm here for. So.
He's like, "Joke's on you."
But they all just like look at me, and I'm okay with it because I don't care. I don't know those humans. I don't care about those humans. And so I'm like, but they're all just kind of looking at me like, why is this person here 2 months in a row? Which is really rare because
this is not our typical recording.
It's not. So for it to happen twice in a row. Yeah. And kudos to you. Saint moment. You were very flexible with my schedule yesterday because my wife was on that staycation. And so
what other option do I have? You want me to show up at your house with all the recording equipment and be like, Sorry, D.
You can't. We were on a hike, so that's. I mean, you could have set it up wherever you want. Doesn't matter. We weren't there.
I'm just waiting for you when you get back. Be like, oh, I'm glad you're home.
Well, no.
We got work to do.
What would happen at that point is I'd be like, "Why'd you set it up inside? We're smoking. Set it up outside."
That's right. Back table. Let's go.
Yeah. So no. So I appreciate that about you. But yeah, last time that happened though, like there were. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it.
Go for it.
There are some hungry young women in their orbit. It's been a long time since I've been looked at like that. I was just like, you are all curious and available.
Well, yeah.
I need to go upstairs because this is awkward.
You're welcome.
It's awkward. I'd also like to, across the street from where we record.
You're going on blast.
Yeah, I'm putting everybody on blast.
Everybody.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, Town Watch. Relax. Relax.
We got neighborhood watch here.
I pull up today, and because of some scheduling stuff, I brought us lunch, and so I had gone through a fast food and a drive-through, and so I'm putting the lunch in my bag with all the other stuff that I bring for us here. And this guy, I get it. I have blacked out windows, so you can't see inside at all unless like you roll down the window.
Yeah.
So he is just like hands on his hips, staring at me. And I'm like, whatever, dude. Like,
maybe he thought you were good looking. Maybe he was next to the interview of the ladies last week.
He couldn't see me. So I'm like, my interest in feeding into your ego of, you know what? Here's what I'm gonna say. I'll just get off it right now. Final word. That dude pisses all around his property line, so everybody can smell his pheromones, so they can be like, oh, this is where Ted lives. Or whatever his jerk-off name is. Yeah, go back inside, douche.
Feel better?
Yeah.
Is that better?
I do. I feel pretty good about that. Because, I don't know, man. Like, people are people.
Rob Bell has an illustration where he says, and I forget what he says.
Who's Rob Bell?
He's a pastor, speaker guy.
Okay.
But he's a great illustrator and storyteller. In one of his talks, he talks about, and he's got a name for it. It's something like disassociated context or something like that. And he's like, if you were to walk into like a auditorium for a concert, like for a symphony or something, and everybody's dressed in tuxedos and you're dressed nicely or whatever, and the usher walks you to your seat and turns to the aisle, and as he turns and says, here's your row, and he says, and here's a duck. You'd be like, what the heck? Like, it's out of context. It doesn't make sense. Like, this doesn't fit with, like, it's out of nowhere. You caught me by surprise.
I gotta be honest. All I'm thinking is, free duck! I got a free duck!
What do I do with this? So it's that. It's like,
you make some rice.
What are you doing here? Why are you here? Like, this is the end. Why are you showing up? Like,
yeah.
So it's disassociated context of like, what are you doing here? Right? And it's the same. Somebody pulls their car up in front of my house. I'm like, what we got going on here? Who is this?
Every single time that happens, you know what I think it is? Got a package. Because like so many Amazon drivers are driving their own cars now.
Oh no! Up here in Noblesville, we demand that they show up in Amazon cars.
This is
we
high living.
We don't take our deliveries from anybody.
Oh, hold on, one more thing. Trying to get here today was a nightmare.
Why?
146 sucks. 161st is closed. 38th has some guy who must do the speed limit. Oh, man. Okay.
It's a rough day for you.
Guys, this is why we need to do it in the morning. This is why we got to do it in the morning. We do this in the afternoon. This is when Grumpy Ben shows up.
I'd say you got your panties in a knot, but you don't wear them, so I don't know what's in a knot down there.
Well, it's my balloon knot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
whatever it takes.
Yeah. Anyways, just if somebody pulls up in front of my house, all I think is, oh, we're getting a package.
No, not me. I'm like, what are we doing here? What's going on?
So. Now I gotta confess, we had, we talked about before during Halloween season, we had the Michael Meyers in our front yard.
Yes.
And I forgot.
Did you kill a man?
No. I forgot to tell you about this.
Like you gave an old man a stroke and sent him to the grave.
No, Mr. Edwards is still with us. As of the time of this recording, Mr. Edwards is still with us. I wanted to find because my home office looks out the front. So, and there was this guy walking his dog, and his kid was riding his bike with it, and the kid just like sat and stared at it. And I was like, I am missing a great opportunity here to put something in there. It's just like, boom, something like that. So my wife made the comment, hey, Michael Meyers looks pretty like gangly. Like we should
beef him up a little bit.
I was like, all right. So I got balloons. Inexpensive.
Okay.
Just filled up balloons and put them in the coverall so it fills them out a little bit. And I couldn't find a boo machine.
Okay.
I could find a fart machine. So I did the opposite. It's so juvenile. But I did the opposite. And instead of when somebody's sitting there waiting to be terrified and so scared that it's going to do something, all they get is... and, oh, God, it's so funny. Because then everyone's just
laughing.
No, they're not laughing. No. They're just like... Do they have a farting man in their yard?
You need to record this. We need some reactions.
So, yeah, it's next year when it goes up, we'll get it on. But
that's awesome.
I couldn't and it's remote.
Yeah, right.
So I'm just sitting in my office and
people,
they can't see me because of the glare. And I'm just like, oh God, it's so funny because people just just look at it, and then you can see them like I just heard that right. That didn't actually happen.
Right.
Because it doesn't happen all the time.
No.
So when my neighbor walks their dog, it only happens when I'm at working hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So farting Michael Myers. There might be a show title.
Your Michael Myers has made me think like, oh, I'm missing an opportunity in front of my house. Like, I might have to add a stuffed man to our light post out front.
Yes. Oh, you know what? Don't buy anything. I got stuff for you.
Ooh.
I mean, I've got a mask and a hat.
Okay.
That work real well together.
Nice.
You'll have to provide the body. But
I've got a few.
Look about the body.
How do your balloons work? They don't deflate?
It depends on the temperature.
Okay.
But we've had a pretty steady
temperature.
Pretty steady temperature.
Too. Okay.
And I thought about like randomly putting a needle in part of his coveralls so that as the wind would blow it could pop balloons, but like that's not guaranteed somebody's walking by. So farting Michael Myers was much better.
Much better. Yeah.
More controllable.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also have...
Is that your same moment? Bringing humor and laughter and levity?
Which moment was it?
The farting Michael Myers.
Did you call it Saint or Center?
Saint.
Yeah, sure.
We heard your center moment.
Yeah.
For about 15 minutes. We just blasted the world. So, yeah.
Don't mind me. I'm just going to stand here and stare at you. I hope he listens. So I drive the black SUV.
I'm trying to think. Let's see. Have I shared either Sinner Saint?
I don't know. I've kind of lost track.
Oh, I did the biblical exposition.
Oh yeah.
That was my Sinner moment. I did my Saint. I talked about our new practice, our new discipline.
Oh,
so look at that. We're just checking things out.
We're actually
sticking to the format.
I don't. Okay.
Well, I guess we're done for the day. We'll.
Well, I gotta hold on.
No, you got more.
Well, no, I got a list of people I offended today. I offended local construction for trying to make the infrastructure better.
How dare they?
Don't do it all at once.
Every road in and out of Noblesville.
One at a time.
All of them.
And you think Noblesville's great?
I think
try getting here.
They're just trying to keep us here.
Yeah, I don't know.
Trying to keep certain people out.
I offended the person who lives across the street from our studio. I offended anybody who likes those Jesus Is Us commercials.
Oh.
I offended probably a lot of people of the religious community in general, not just localized to Christianity. We can pepper that across all facets. However, I did teach y'all the life hack of water closet.
There you go. Why we did get that. I'm going to go with I offended people who think that the Bible only has nice, pretty things to say.
She laid at his feet.
Yeah, well.
007.
Probably somebody else, but I'm going to stick with that. I felt like I was pretty well behaved. I had to counter your gnarliness.
Just wait for next week's episode.
Oh, we're switching roles.
Oh no, it gets worse. Oh no, I'm putting everybody on blast.
You leveling up?
Look out, Pope.
Right. What I learned today is you get easily irritated by construction.
I do. I get road ragey for no reason. Really. It's just
I
you're in
know,
my
I'm trying
way.
to-
You're in my way. Like,
Yeah, I want to get it from point A to point B as fast as I can.
I do. And I didn't want to be late. And like I had a stop to make before
Yeah.
I came.
I
didn't
was-
want to be late.
I was trying not to be distracted by time, and I was like, oh, I should tell him to come at 1:30. I was a little bit of a mess this morning.
No, you're okay. We made it happen.
It was kind of
It worked out
It was
well,
kind of perfect
actually.
timing, but
Yeah,
yeah,
'cause we
for a
were-
second I was like, oof.
I mean, we were set. It was 15 minutes from we ate, we set up, and by the time we hit record, we
We're
were going
efficient,
15 minutes.
efficient and effective.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'm gonna send you out.
You're done? You okay?
Are we?
No, you're
we
good.
good?
No, it's fine. You're done. Just wait till next week.
got more?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's fine. I'll save it.
Come back next week and see what article of clothing Ben removes for that episode, and
It'll be my teeth.
Oh, they're
Welcome in.
here's how I'm going to send you out. When the cultural, what did I call that? Cultural contextual disconnect.
Dismemberment.
Dismemberment.
Wait, that can't be right.
When you're experienced with the unexpected, pause, reflect, reset, adjust, and see that as an opportunity for hospitality and positive engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna send you out with. Get out of here. Go on, get out of here. Get off the lawn. Get off the lawn.
Oh, that's your neighbor who said that to me today. He said it with his eyes.
They throw nice parties.
With his aggressive sprinkling.
Keep checking things out. We're putting the polls and the questions with each episode on Spotify.
Looking at you on that one, Darcy.
You can interact with us, Darcy. But also, we appreciate the email, so you can get a hold of us at info@acenterandsaints.com.
You're not going to believe this.
Say it.
We'll reply.
We will.
If you send us an email,
or an
I'm
anecdote,
sure-
we will get it on the episode.
somebody's monitoring that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we got a whole staff.
Yeah.
A whole
And-
staff.
Did you know Eddie got his own staff?
Yeah. Well, he's branching out.
Yeah, that was cute. He sent us an invoice. Shut it, Eddie. Jerk. Shut it. Thank you guys for joining Center and Saint Podcast. Tell a friend, tell an enemy, tell a family member, tell your mom. She's
Yeah.
probably going to hate it.
She will.
Tell somebody who might not be offended with religion. To start here, tell somebody who might be offended with religion to go a few episodes back.
So I have to hang on for a bit.
We appreciate you guys.
See ya.